Oh, what a terrible time to discover. Oh, I've learned that there's a lag apparently, but what a terrible time to discover that I have a pimple after I'm already live. But okay, I can deal with that. As everything is titled, and yes, right now I clicked off so I don't have to see myself as I speak. I want to kind of document some of the very recent things. There's some things that are, bearing in mind that I pride myself on the transparency. I think transparency is something that is so important when you decide to put yourself out there, whether the channel or the content becomes successful or not. And I guess that's kind of subjective, but I mean, whatever the case, transparency, sincerity, uh, honesty, all of these things are paramount for multiple compounding reasons. Uh, for the sake of recovery, I think sharing my own experience could be of value to anybody else out there. This also is being placed in the category of where I wanted this channel to go in terms of being changing up in theme. While the name is quite political, Progressive Patriot, I want it to be very clear that I'm also going to be adding elements of recovery because I feel recovery and addiction and all these issues that are marred together, we can actually find some unity, which is something that I have exhausted, will never fully tire from. But I have exhausted in trying to get people on the left and on the right to meet in the middle. So I'm going to try to be a little sneaky and go as far as I can with recovery and my personal journey. I am 37 years old. My real name is Eli, and I'm 12 years off of being an addict as I was, and it was a dark age for me. And I've shared a lot of my experiences. I'm not going to repeat them all in one go. And let me just check that text to see. Okay, Joe, I was just making sure he's not saying my audio is off. Um, and we all have our stories, and we all have our experiences. Uh, our dark moments, the moments that we're not so proud of, but ultimately help us grow. Hindsight and all. I'm definitely not the child I was. You know, even though I was technically a man, I was very much a child in my mind throughout my 20s that I wasted. I had great, amazing moments and friends and friendships that carried from before, during, and after. And there's a lot of people that I've lost along the way. Specifically, I don't know if this camera can see it, and there's two pictures I keep up on that wall. Not so much as a reminder. Out of the two who I miss dearly, there's this one friend of mine who was doing so amazingly beautiful and inspiring in recovery. She got me to go back to meetings uh, 6 nights before her passing. Too young, younger than me, too young, leaving behind two children. Um, 6 nights before her passing, her and I were looking at the stars and talking about the little things that we were grateful for, talking about memories and the good times and the bad and all that, and she just seemed so powerful. And I had so many opportunities to end up in the way that so many that I've known have. I'm lucky. Not much strategy in surviving the things I've survived because I damn near went out of my way to self destruct. So I'm grateful, even though I'm going through a bout of. Remember, I'm doing this for my own documentation purposes. I need to monitor my own struggle, and I also am aware of how this is it's played out, man. Like I should have gotten this done. I'll never forget one of my s- stints in rehab. There was a doctor that said, "Eli, do you want to do this when you're 30?" And I was like 22 at that time, I think 22. And here I am, age 37, and I have gone to rehab. The court order, and then I think maybe three times, and had a minute trouble with the law. I got very lucky in terms of what became available that very year. Otherwise, who is to know? So as it stands, and yeah, thinking about rest in peace. I don't want to say her name because I don't want to feel like I'm using her, and I feel like the people that do see this will know who I'm talking about. Just wanted to say, like, it's weird to want to say something to somebody who's not here, and I've accepted that she's gone, but it's still not real because she would. I really relied on her. I think we relied on one another. We fed off of each other's addictions when we were going through our dark times, and when she came out swinging and was so powerful, beautiful, inspiring. She went through quite a bit of trauma herself. She had to watch uh, her at the time lover, OD in the bathroom. And yeah, I never really considered the trauma that she had gone through and the timing of her end. I think it was on New Year's or Christmas time, and I know it was accidental, and I know it was just something. She got something dirty, and because she was clean. God damn it! All right, I didn't come on here to just harp about the people that we've lost. So, what I am doing right now, I'm not hooked on narcotics. Obviously, I'm 12 years off of all that the bad stuff. I'm on pharmaceuticals that I am no longer pleased with, and I need a change. I've taken the steps necessary. I've gotten some medical professionals involved so I can get put on a wiser, smarter path. I've cold turkeyed again alcohol, and I have substituted. Got to be careful with some of the things I so openly share for multiple reasons. As I put in the title, not only for the alcohol, but also for the dosing of two out of the three medications that I have. Seems like a lot, I know, but I use them very sparingly. Let's say 7 of one of these medications last me 2 months. So yeah, I break them up and all that. But what I am slowly doing is I'm introducing something very natural. You get my gist or not? And slowly I'm starting to see the results of being able to, instead of relying on addictive medication pharmaceuticals that are poisonous, that are slowly going to make me less and less healthy. They make it not damn near impossible, but they make it really challenging to lose weight. I want to say it like that so I don't appear like I'm blaming the medication. But I finally saw a primary doctor after years of not being able to do so because I didn't have the insurance. Thank goodness I have a steady job, and part of the reasoning that I want to be on this road to recovery is because my own perspective can get too low sometimes. While I love to be the guy that's cracking jokes, sometimes I guess with the tedium of everyday 9 to 5 work life, and then doing the other things that we try to do, like going live or doing a show, um, it can sometimes make you feel a little burnt out. So aside from all that, self care and some natural elements I have added is slowly starting to help. So that's what I'm documenting. And this is the before. So I can pretty much say it without saying it, which is strategic on my part. Trust me. Um, so I just want to document that this is me right now, pre natural interference, where I feel lethargic, apathetic. I mean, all intents and purposes, I feel, quite normal in terms of whatever the fuck that is. Talking with my friends and texting here and there. Uh, but I feel this lack of motivation, and that's what inspired me to get off of the antidepressant or whatever it was that I was given so many years ago that I don't even know what it's called outside of its generic name. So yeah, and just to remind everybody, it's important. The stigma. I think we're over the stigma. We've gotten so much progress, even though the world is losing its fucking mind. And this will be my brief political diatribe, tirade, rant. Why did I use three words to describe essentially the same thing? I was talking to Josh of youtube.com/stuck in the middle, our show, not moments ago, and not to give away anything, we were pondering a thought. Like, think about all of these. First off, our current generation are too accustomed to getting prescriptions. Our doctors in this country are too accustomed to giving medicine to children, the younger generation, young adults, instead of dealing with the issues and the problems at hand. That's what helped lead to Florida's great opioid epidemic, which I fell victim to. Um, it's too much. You have a problem. Here's a pill, and not enough. Accountability and facing your demons and or your issues. And this is where it goes in so far as we were just kind of speculating. Think of all these the kids right now that, of course, growing up, you have identity issues and whatever the case, and that it's been deemed appropriate to halt the puberty of a child, uh, just to see and wait until they feel like what gender they identify with instead of what gender they biologically are. This is dangerous territory, and the where big pharma comes into play here is there's a specific, if you watch What Is a Woman, the documentary, there's a specific ingredient or pill, medicine, chemical that is used in one of these things. And I don't want to conflate whatever puberty blockers are with whatever this medication is used to transition people, kids. I can't believe the Olympics outright said, or I forget what it was, it a state or was it our country, that to compete, a child, a human being, but first a child, has to be already transitioning from age 12 to be allowed to compete. What the fuck kind of standard what are we doing here? Um, I think it's just, this is not me being a bigot. This is me being concerned. So what Josh and I were speculating is, there's a line in What Is a Woman where it's pretty much like this generation is like the generation of lab rats. There's so many things that are happening that are different, and sometimes different and new, I understand, could be looked at as scary, and that's what it is to me. Some people will appropriate the term progress and say that this is progress. No, not necessarily true, and it's important to keep a logical mindset at what the hell we're doing. We're playing with genetics like it's a toy. We're playing, I understand the psychology that should be dealt with far greater before you get to the point where you're considering genital mutilation. And the big pharma medicine I was talking about, sorry, I know I can be all over the place, is something used for chemical castration for Play-Doh people. Okay? Chemical castration. That is what they are freely putting into this regiment of treating people that are simply, it could be either gender dysphoria or whatever the term is, where they just there are more issues at play than just believing they are a different gender trapped in the wrong body. I just think there needs to be more emphasis on the mental health aspect before something drastic is done, especially with impressionable parents in the name of being progressive, which is a term that I hold pretty near and dear, because progressive to me is just kind of some basic stuff when it comes to our healthcare and when it comes to Yes, I think certain actions in the name of preserving the climate and yeah, and but also, I want more regulation on our own damn government because I'm over our government regulating us. But okay, there was my brief rant here. So remember, this is the before video. At some point when I feel comfortable, it might be soon, who knows. I had to take off today because of a medical reason that I'm not gonna divulge today. And don't worry, it's nothing serious. But yeah, so here's the before, and I am simply documenting this journey of hopefully, and for the very last time, because I don't have enough. I've put too much time into failing, or into getting my couple of years here and there where, I felt liberated and free and happy. I just this is it. This is the last one. This is it. Without sounding hyperbolic, it's fucking do or die time. Not literally. This is at this age. I mean, it's never too late, and I don't want to make anybody think that that's what I think, but it is time. So anyway, I'll return, and I ask the audience, whomever that is. I know it's early and it's a very random time. Probably not a lot of people watching live. I noticed the rewatches, and I'm very appreciative to all of you. Tell me if you recognize a change in my demeanor, my persona, my behavior in the second video. Again, you can say whatever you'd like in the chat. I am not saying it out loud for obvious reasons, to protect the very important, good, good, safe job that I have, that I should be very grateful for. And I just get so irritated and angry, which is why I'm trying this new thing. All right, guys. With that, this was a brief one. And hey, Liberty, what's up? Shelby, what's up? What are you saying there? Oh, yeah, no. You're Liberty. You're on point, brother. It's always the diarrhea. It's always diarrhea. All right. Let me see. It's supposed to keep it fair because they say if a man reaches puberty and then transitions after an advantage of someone that's born a woman, yeah, they say it's to keep it fair. When if you just look at the nuance and the details, you see just how unfair the whole process is to everybody involved, especially the person that's undergoing all of the treatments that are just far too aggressive and early. We should not be doing these things to our children. Josh and I briefly spoke, like, you know, uh, there's a part of me that's glad I don't have a child. I'd be so invested in this, I'd lose my fucking mind. And I know that's exactly what I would do. I'd get too invested, too aggressive, too angry. I have a temper problem, but I've learned to keep it at bay, thankfully. My temper used to help run and ruin my life back when I was not healthy in the mind, in the body. But that is behind me, and I'm going to stop bringing that up. The past is in the past. Let it rest, or where it remains, and will continue to do so as I attempt to initiate actual progress. So here we go. Peace out, guys. See you on the next part 2, whatever that is. And thank you for the support. Truly, it matters.